been interested in, I've talked to Michole about it, how much church is like theater, in a sense. When I came up here, I was coming from a very religious environment, from going to church once or twice a week. And I came up here and I was going to Broadway shows once I got here, and I was just amazed at how much it had in common really with a church service. When you go and you get your program and you sit in your old seat and you kind of listen to the message, and then you kind of go away and think about it. And occasionally there's singing and dancing and that sort of thing. So I've always been intrigued with how religion can be theater, or theater can be religion even, just the ways that they kind of go, I don't know, they meld into each other at different times.
The first thing that drew me to this play was the, just the real, the strength of the characters, I think, like in a lot of Brett's plays, that they were struggling with like these really deep, secret questions, and there is a rawness to how Brett writes them that I'm attracted to. I also like that his characters are really one thing from the outside, but then once you start seeing how they relate to other people and the world around him, you start to see that what you see on the outside of these people is so much less than what they're really about. So just the excitement to sort of explore this kind of world, these kind of dark characters, and the theatricality of the world, like Brett was talking about, in terms of the idea of the church service, and of the place that fills in each of these characters' lives. Brett and I have known each other for a little over 5 years. We met in a director-playwright relationship class.
My first theater class ever, and then we taught it 3 years later.
Well, that's right.
Yeah.
At Rutgers.
Right after we graduated. Yeah, Israel Hicks was our first teacher. Yeah. Michole was amazing, just like even in that first class, and just kind of calling me on my bullshit. She's really good at kind of looking at a line or a moment and saying, I think you could go deeper here, or this sucks, and then just trying to figure out how to make it better. That's never her first impulse, which I love. A lot of directors are, they think that you should change the play before you kind of kick it around. And she always kind of wants to make it work before we even change it. So I don't know, it's been amazing for me.
I mean, that was, I worked on a lot of new plays before, but that class also for me was sort of like the most in-depth, like I really had the time to like spend a lot of time with Brett working on the play Arkadelphia in that. And so that was, for me, also a really good experience, because it just let me figure out that, you can work a play for a while in the rehearsal room without worrying about the final product at the end, to sort of like give it time to see what's there, what the playwright wants to say first and foremost, because before that I just would take a play and try to make it my own rather than trying to come from the perspective that, let's figure out what the playwright wants it to do before what I want it to do, which has been a really good lesson.
Nice. I lived in Arkadelphia, Arkansas for 5 years before I moved up here. Before that, I was born and raised in Hot Springs, which is about an hour away. This play actually takes place in Hot Springs, whereas my previous 3 plays have taken place in Arkadelphia. But they all have the same characters that kind of wander in and out of the plays, and they're referenced off stage, certain characters from other plays. And I believe that Michole has directed, in some form, every play, all 4 of the Arkansas plays, I think. Woodpecker, Arkadelphia, Trash Bag Tourist, and now Revival, I think. Yeah, so, and she actually went to Arkansas with me. She directed the Trash Bag Tourist in New Orleans right after Katrina, which was a wonderful, awesome experience. And she then came up with me to see, I drug her up to Arkadelphia, and we drove through Arkadelphia, and I showed her that town, and then we went to Hot Springs, and she met my family. Well, at first I was paid to adapt into a screenplay by a small company that then kind of fell apart. And they didn't make the movie, but in the contract it said I got to keep the screenplay if they didn't shoot the films. Then I got to keep that, and then this other company came along, Lejeune Productions, and a producer from there really liked it, and he had been wanting to start his own company from that. So basically, he created a company called Nick and Faith Entertainment, and this is the first screenplay that they've optioned, and they're hoping to shoot it within the year. So hopefully that would be cool. I think they're going to shoot it in maybe Louisiana or Arkansas. I think depending on tax breaks and whatnot. But I wrote the play first, yeah, and then the screenplay came from that.
And we need some kind of sign off. So like, you know how like what show is it? Entertainment Weekly or whatever it does, like, yo, Entertainment Weekly. So we need some kind of
I don't know what this guy's doing.
But you guys can create the sign off, whatever it is. I don't know. It's got to be good though.
Salt sucked. We sign off with that.
Sure, that works.